So we're going to start lying down on our backs, and you're gonna need your blanket for this. So you're just gonna have your blanket in like a rectangular like shape, and then you're gonna roll it up so it's like in a burrito type roll thing. And this is gonna be the top of my mat. So you're gonna place the blanket where like your legs and your calves and your knees will go. Then you can just sit down, find where the blanket is, like under your knees or calves, whatever feels nice. And then you're just gonna roll yourself down and lie on your back. So we're in kind of like a pseudo shavasana of sorts. So get excited to rest before we get into it. Um, Today, a lot of the stuff that we do will embody the characteristics of summer. So we'll build some heat. I'm already sweating as I was preparing this. So if you didn't want to sweat today, I'm sorry, you will sweat. So enjoy it. Cool. So once you're lying on your back, just bring your eyes to a close. And then just listen to your breath. Notice how fast you're breathing. Notice if anything is coming up as you lie here. Is your mind already wandering off? And then on your next inhale, you're just gonna hug your arms around yourself. So my right hand is coming behind my left shoulder. My left arm or my left hand is coming to hug like my right shoulder. So you're just giving yourself a little hug. In Chinese medicine, the organ associated with summer is your heart. So always good to give yourself a little bit of love. This also works as a nice slight shoulder opener, which is always good. So take a few more breaths here and then we'll switch which arm is on top. Doesn't matter which one you started with. If you want, you can always like wiggle your toes and rock your legs from side to side if you want to get a bit more movement there. And then switch which arm is on top. So come back to the hug. See if you can walk your hands a little bit more down your back. And just find your breath again. Keeping your eyes closed as much as you can in the beginning to really embrace the rest. One more breath here. And then you'll let your arms go. Just let them come off to the side. Let your arms hang down, palms face up. And then you can leave the blanket where it is. I'm just gonna bend my knees and kind of place my feet on the blanket, but it doesn't matter where your feet go. We're gonna do some abs, so you're also welcome. So interlace your hands behind the back of your head, lift your knees and feet up into a tabletop position, and then lift your head, neck, and shoulders up so you're gazing down at your low belly. And we're gonna take alternating like toe taps to the ground. So you'll first just drop the right foot down, then the left, and just take this 20 times, alternating. See if you can lift your head, neck, and chest up a little bit higher. I've already lost count, but I trust that you will do 20. So keep counting. Doesn't matter how fast you go. Try to keep your whole lower back on the ground. We'll engage the belly a little bit more. And after you've done 20 here, we'll meet back up in a tabletop with both legs. And then we'll take the same thing 10 times, kiss your feet, your knees, your thighs together, and then drop both at the same time to the ground. And if you can't go all the way to the ground without your lower spine lifting up, then don't. We don't want to strain anything. So if you feel it in your abs, then it's fine. And after you've done your 10, we'll meet back up in a tabletop and you can hug your knees in towards your chest. I'm gonna pretend I count to 10. Cool. Take a little rock from side to side. And then place both feet back down, whether they were on the blanket or on the floor, doesn't really matter. Place your left arm out to the side, so it's like a T or a cactus shape on the ground to your left. Take your right hand behind your neck. Straighten out your left leg so that your knees are still in line and your left leg is on a diagonal. And then as you inhale, you'll lengthen. Exhale, cross your right elbow to the left side of your left knee and take that 10 times. So we're just warming up the core. We'll need it later. We'll need it for everything in life, so it's always good to do something for your abs. And after you've done your 10, you'll just take it right on over to the other side. So I'll pretend I've done 10 and I know how to count to 10. Gonna straighten out my right leg so our knees are still in line. Toes can be pointed or flexed, doesn't matter. And then take your twists on this side. Exhaling as you come in, inhaling as you come lie back down. And you can use your right palm pressing down as leverage coming over. Really try to cross over. And after you've done your 10, once again, hold your knees into your chest and you can begin to rock up and down or side to side, whatever feels nice. Take some circles with your knees just to clear it out. And then begin to take rocks up and down the spine until you have enough momentum to come, let your knees cross in front of one another and come into an all fours position. You can move the blanket away and just find your way into all fours. Hands underneath your shoulders, knees are underneath your hips, tops of the feet pressing down. And we're gonna take cats and cows today, starting by going at the speed of your breath, and then you're gonna try to take it a little bit faster. So starting slower, inhaling as you arch, exhaling as you round, whatever speed your breath is going at right now. And after you've taken a few rounds of those, just try to speed it up and see if you can go extra fast. Almost like a one. Yeah, and just really use your pelvis to lead the movement. So your pelvis and your hips moving forward and back is what's allowing you to go even faster. So keep whatever speed you're at and take it for 10, 9, 8, 7. See if you can go a little bit faster. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow it down. Find your breath again. And from there, we're gonna do my favorite thing. You're gonna flip your wrists around 180 degrees. So hands are still underneath your shoulders. Your elbows are slightly bent so they're not locked out. And then from here, you can just take slow circles or mediums, middle. How do you describe a speed that's not super slow? I don't know. Faster than super slow, but take circles to the right. And keep going, pressing down with the tops of the feet still, trying to have a full connection with your whole shin, your front of your ankle and your foot, and all 10 toenails pressing down. And then take circles to the left. And keep breathing. Feel free to shake your head, yes and no, circle it around. And if this feels like a ton of pain on your wrists, feel free to only move your wrists out to 90 degrees instead of facing your fingers back towards your knees. Take one more circle to the left and then come back to center. Place your hands back down the normal way underneath your shoulders. Find your all fours position. Let the sensation in your wrists just ground into the mat. And then place your hands out about a palm print in front of where they are. Tuck the back toes, lift the knees, and then stick your butt up to the sky for your first down dog. And once you get into your down dog, you can pedal it out. You can shake things around. You can lift a leg, you can lift a foot. You can lift your hands and arms. Just really moving everything around as if you are walking a dog in a park. Begin to make the movements a little bit smaller. Bring your body forward and through to a plank pose. So if you had to fidget your hands or feet forward and back, notice that and know that this length of your plank pose is the length of your down dog. One more breath here, and then bend your knees, stick your butt up. And for all of class today, try to have a slight bend in your knees as you're in your down dog. On your next inhale, begin to take walks with your feet. You can come up onto fingertips, walking yourself up to a forward fold at the front of your mat. And then let your head just dangle, let your arms dangle. You can sway from side to side, coming into your forward fold. Take one more breath here, and then slowly roll yourself up to Tadasana. Standing tall on 2 feet, head is last to lift, stacking vertebra on top of vertebra as you come up. And when you get to the top, just take a roll with your shoulders back, forward. You can shake it out, do whatever. And then from here, something we've done a few times in the past, we're gonna come right into our water salutation. So if you get confused with what I'm saying or with the feet, just do whatever you want and no one will know, and it's perfectly fine. So as you inhale, your hands are gonna come together to prayer. Inhale, press them up. Exhale, forward fold over your legs. Inhale, step your right foot back. Place your back knee down, lift your chest up. Exhale, come down. Place your hands down, cross your left leg in front of your right, come into your cross-legged down dog. Inhale, bring your body forward and through upward facing dog. Exhale, bend the knees, stick the butt up, downward facing dog. Inhale, step your right foot forward. Place your back knee down, lift your chest up. Inhale, place your hands back down. Exhale, cross your left foot behind your right, and then just breathe. Inhale, lift your arms back up, come back up into Tadasana, hands come down at the center of your chest. Other side. Inhale, lift your arms up, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, place your left foot back, knee down, chest up. Inhale, place your hands back down, exhale, cross your right foot over your left. Inhale, forward and through upward facing dog, toes tucked. Exhale, bend the knees, stick the butt up, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward. Exhale, lift your chest up. Inhale, hands back down. Exhale, forward fold. Take a breath here. Inhaling and exhaling in your forward fold. And then inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, bring them back to center. One more time, either side. Inhaling, arms up. Exhale, bring yourself back down. Inhale, step your right foot back. Exhale, chest up. Inhale, hands down. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot steps forward. Exhale, chest up, back knee down. Inhale, hands down. Exhale, cross your left behind your right. Find the connection with your knees and breathe. And then inhale, lift your arms up, stand. Exhale, hands back to center. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, step your left knee back. Exhale, lift up. Inhale, hands down. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step the left foot forward, back knee down, tuck the toes. Exhale, chest up. Inhale, hands down. Exhale, come to your forward fold. Breathe, embrace whatever's going on and whatever foot is where. And then inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale to your chest. And then come back to stand normally at the front of your mat. Shake it out. Whatever happened, happened. And I bet it was great. So find Tadasana at the front of your mat, standing on 2 feet. And you can try to have your eyes come to a close here if you can. And just notice what it's like to stand without looking at something around you. And just breathe. Letting all of those twisting and weird things we just did settle down. As you inhale, lift your arms up, press your palms together overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step yourself back to a downward facing dog. On your next inhale, you're gonna roll your body forward and through to a tuck-toed up dog. So same thing we just did in the water sows, but our legs are not twisted. And then exhale, bend the knees and stick the butt up. And you wanna keep the legs engaged as if they're in a plank pose. So try that again. Upward facing dog, engaging the legs. Exhale, downward facing dog. Cool. Take that 2 more times on your own, following your breath. Go as slow or as fast as you want to go. And if you're like, I don't want to do this, Dana, I hate you, then you can just go to a child's pose. So listen to your body and do whatever you want. After you've done your 2, you're going to bring your body forward to a plank pose. And then hugging your elbows in towards your chest, you're going to lower your belly slowly in one line down to the ground. Cool. Once you get to the ground, make a palm pillow underneath your forehead and just rock your hips from side to side, enjoying the fact that we're on the ground and we're just lying on our bellies. Find your breath. We're going to take a few back bend variations here. So with your hands where they are, just seal your legs together and point your toes so that you have long energy going out through the entire length of the leg. From here, with your arms, you're going to place your arms out in front of you on your fingertips. Imagine that you have oranges or a cupcake or something underneath your palms. And as you inhale, you're just going to lift your chest, neck, and head up. So this is part 1. Take 1 more breath here. And then exhale, bring yourself back down. Cool. Part 2, inhale, chest, neck, head, and arms up. Cool. 1 more breath. And then let that come back down. 1 breath on your belly. Part 3, inhale, chest, neck, head, arms and legs up. Hold. We're in a variation of Shalabhasana. 1 breath. Exhale, let everything go. Find that palm pillow again and rock your hips from side to side. Your legs can separate, releasing the low back. From here, you're going to make goalposts with your arms. So forehead comes down on the ground. Elbows are in line with your shoulders. You're making 90-degree angles with your arms. Then you're going to place your left hand underneath your left shoulder, roll over onto your right side. Place your left foot behind you if you can, otherwise just leave it straight on top of your right leg, and then rock a little bit forward and back, beginning to open up the pec, the shoulder, creating more space for your collarbone and more space for your lungs to breathe, more space for your heart to go out into the world and do things. And then come back through center. Same thing, other side, right hand underneath right shoulder, left arm's in its goalpost, and then roll over onto the left side. One side might be easier, you might be able to go further. Just notice which shoulder might be tighter. And just take these rocks. Keep breathing. And then roll yourself back onto your belly. From here, you're gonna just place your right cheek down on the mat and then place your hands at your lower back, palms face up, and then let your elbows sink to the floor. So this is also a nice shoulder stretch that I like to do. You could do this seated at your chair while you're working too, if you're bored in a meeting. And then switch which cheek is on the ground. And just let gravity help press your elbows closer to the floor. Try not to hold anything, just let it be. Really release it as you breathe. One more breath. And then last thing here, you're gonna place your left arm out in front of you like it was before, either on fingertips or you can place your palm down. You're gonna kick your right foot to your right butt. You're gonna grab for the outer edge of your foot with your right hand. And then as you lift your left arm up, you're gonna kick your hand with your right foot, coming into half bow. So as you inhale, lift your chest, neck, head, arm, knee, kick with your foot. So much to do at once. And exhale, come, bring everything back down. Same thing, other side. Let your right arm come long, kick your left foot into your butt, grab for your left foot, and inhale, lift everything up, kick back with your left foot. Right foot is pressing down to allow your body to come up, and then exhale, let it all go. One more palm pillow. Rock your hips from side to side. And then press yourself back, hands underneath shoulders, and come into a downward facing dog. Cool. Pedal it out one more time. Find your legs. And on your next inhale, lift your right leg up, down dog split. Exhale, bring your right foot to your right thumb. So this is a great place where you'll want to have your blocks handy. I'll grab mine after I explain what we were doing, but you're coming into your low lunge, back knee is still off the ground. Left foot is as if you're pressing into a wall behind you and your hands can come on blocks here. Place your left hand down on the block and then lift your right arm up and come into a twisted lunge. Opening up your chest to the right side. And just let your right arm even just come back a little bit. Just let it open more. You don't need to be super formal with this. Really opening up the chest. And then exhale, swim the right hand down, place it down on the block. And then from here, you're gonna lift that one up to the highest height of whatever you're using. Hop your left foot in a little bit. And as you straighten both legs, lift your left arm up and open yourself up to the left. So this time, shoulders in one line. You can either gaze up at your left thumb out in front of you or down at your right foot. Engaging both knees, strongly pressing down with all parts of the feet. One more breath. Exhale, swim your left hand down. Bring your blocks onto whatever height you want and square off your hips and come into a pyramid pose. So that probably didn't do much of a change for your legs, but instead of us having us open, our chests are now face down and you'll feel a really nice stretch in the back of the right leg. So from here, inhale, lengthen out your spine, and exhale, just let everything drop in. Doesn't matter how far you go. Doesn't matter if you're using 5 blocks underneath. If you're feeling something in your leg, that's all that matters. You can close your eyes here. You can sway your hips. Just breathe. And on your next exhale, you're gonna hop your left foot up to your right. So your feet are at hips width distance. And then bend your knees, stick your butt back, come into a chair pose. So if you look down, you should want to be able to see your toes. You want to make sure that you have energy out through all parts of the feet. You're sticking your butt back. See if you can bend a little bit lower. Arms are in line with your ears. And then straighten up. Bring the arms down, shoulder roll, shake it out, do whatever. And then find yourself standing on 2 feet. We're gonna come into tree pose, which is another standing balancing pose. So you're gonna find your weight in your left foot, bring your right knee in towards your chest, and then with the help of your hand, you can place it anywhere on your left leg, whether that's the upper inner thigh, the calf, you could place it on the floor, doesn't matter, as long as it's not on your knee. We just don't want it on your knee because your knees are very important and it's not good to just press on them. Cool. Once you've chosen where you are, you can bring your hands to a prayer. You can keep them on your waist. You can bring them up overhead, keeping the hands together, keeping them apart. And you can even try to close your eyes in this pose and just notice what happens. If you fall out of it, no worries, just get back into it. Find your gaze. Oops. Take one more breath. And then bring your palms back to center. Lift your right knee up. Place it down. Once again, shake it out. Same thing, other side. Hands on hips, lift your left knee up. Bring yourself into tree pose on this side, wherever your foot wants to go. And then once you find your balance and your gaze, you can take any arm variation that you want. And every day is different. If one day you held tree pose for 10 minutes, that's awesome, but the next day you might not be able to do it at all. So just be gentle with yourself and know that it's a practice. We're not performing for anyone. We're just moving our bodies to help us feel good. One more breath. Bring your hands back to your chest if they're not there already. Lift your left knee up, press it down, shake it out. I should just have a class where we just shake the whole time. And then on your next inhale, find your 2 feet, bend your knees, lift your arms up, come into chair pose again. So see if you can get a little bit lower, formalize the pose a little bit more since this is our second time doing it. And then exhale, forward fold over your legs. Hands can come onto your blocks, bring them back in line with your feet. And then this time, step your right knee back, come into a low lunge on the left side. Beautiful. So engaging your right foot, your whole right leg, left knees on top of left ankle, and then lift your left arm up, low lunge twist. Taking any movement you want with your upper body, whatever feels nice. One more cycle of breath. And then exhale, follow your hand, swim your left hand down, place it back on the block. Bring the left block, or the block that's near your left hand, to the highest height. Hop your right foot in. Toes are still facing up towards the upper right diagonal. Straighten your legs, open yourself up into a triangle pose on this side. Keep breathing. Notice what your hips are doing. Try not to let them flail out to the left, keeping them on top of your legs. Pressing down through the outer edge of the right foot and the toes of the left foot, giving you a very stable triangle Trikonasana. One more cycle of breath. Exhaling, follow your hands, coming into your pyramid pose. So you can either keep your legs where they were, you can scooch them around, whatever feels nice. Bring the blocks to whatever height feels good. Inhale, lengthen out your spine. Exhale, forward fold over your legs. And just breathe here, opening the backs of the legs. You can take a different arm variation if that's something in your practice and you want to do something else, by all means. You can walk the blocks forward or back. One more breath. From here, once again, step your right foot to meet your left. You can move the blocks off to the side, come into a chair pose again. Cool. Few more breaths here. I think this is the last time we'll do chair pose, so make it your best chair pose ever. See if you can bend your knees a little bit more, keeping your torso up tall. Exhale, forward fold over your legs. From here, however you want, step, hop, cartwheel back to your downward facing dog. Inhale, roll your body forward and through, upward facing dog. Take this 3 times on your own. And after you've finished your 3rd time, we'll all meet in a plank pose. Cool. From here, once again, lower your body down. So bring your elbows in towards your chest, lower yourself down in one line. And then find your forehead on the ground, hands underneath your shoulders. We'll take bow pose a few times here just to give ourselves another bit of a back bend. So as you inhale, kick both feet in towards your chest. Grab for both feet on the outer edges with your hands. And as you inhale here, inhale, lift your chest, neck, head, kick both feet back. You're balancing on your low belly, letting your shoulders open, looking down and out in front of you. One more breath. And then exhale, let that go. Cool. Find whatever motion or rest you want to take before we do another one. Take another breath. And then once again, grab for your feet. On your next inhale, lift your chest, neck, head, kick back. See if you can come up a little bit higher. Totally fine if nothing is coming off the ground. Exhale, bring it down. Cool, so take whatever you want here. One cheek, your forehead to the mat, rocking your hips from side to side. And then place your forehead down, tuck the toes, lift the knees, and press yourself up and back to your downward facing dog. Beautiful. From here, you're going to begin to walk your hands back to the back of your mat, forward fold at the back of the mat. Another shoulder opener here. You're going to interlace the hands at the back, the base of your spine, and then let your hands fall over your head. So opening up the shoulders allows us to open up the heart, bring the heart more forward, make it more prominent as a part of our everyday lives. Most of the time we're hunched over all day, so these shoulder openers and back bend like things really help bring the heart forward and out instead of hiding in our hunched like positions over our computers. Take one more breath, really find that slight bend in your knees, and then exhale, let the arms go, let them dangle, and then begin to roll yourself up one more time. Once you get to the top, you guessed it, shake it out, roll it out, whatever you want. And then we're gonna take a dancer's pose. So you can take this at whatever length or whatever volume, I guess, that you want. But once again, hands are on your hips, kick your right foot into your right butt, grab for the outer edge of your right foot as if you're, what's it called? Doing a quad stretch. And then grab for the inner edge. So I'm going like that to my foot now. Cool. From here, lift your left arm up. And then once again, kick your right foot back into your hand. So if you just go this far and you feel something in your leg, do that. The priority is like how much you move your foot and not like how far you're tipping over to the front. So find your gaze, kick back into your foot. Keep breathing. Try to keep your hips square, arm in line with your ears. One more breath. And then let that go. Bring it all back together. Come down to 2 feet. Shake it out. Other side. Hands on your hips. Bring your right knee up. Bring your left knee up. Kick your left foot towards your butt. Grab for it. Give it a little quad stretch. Then switch how you have the grip. Grabbing the inside of the foot. Reach your right arm up and come into your pose. Kicking the foot back to bring yourself up. Trying not to tip too much forward, but it's totally fine if you do. Like a cantilever. The more you kick up with your back foot, the more you kind of have to move forward. So take one more breath here. And then bring your knee back in. Let your arms go. Give them a big roll. Shake and then come back to stand at the back of your mat. Bend your knees and roll yourself down, leading with your head as if you have a weight on your head, rolling yourself down joint by joint. Cool. Take a few breaths here in this forward fold. And then begin to walk yourself out to a downward facing dog again. From here, bend your knees and come into all fours. Great, our favorite pose. It's like we just started. On your next inhale, lift your right arm up, and then we're gonna thread the needle underneath our left arm. So bring your right shoulder, your right cheek, your right ear to the mat. Your left fingertips are gonna walk out in front of you and a bit over to the right. And then you're gonna inhale, lengthen, see if your left hand can go a little bit more. Exhale, twist up and under. So keep thinking of that as you're breathing. See if you can find more range of motion in your shoulders and your spine. And just let it all be. Pressing down with both feet. On your next exhale, walk your left fingertips back towards your face. Inhale, reach your right arm up, swim it down. Find your all fours again. Inhale, lift your left arm up. Exhale, bring your left arm underneath your right, left shoulder, left ear, left cheek. Walk your right fingertips forward and a little bit over to the left. Left palm is facing up. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist. Trying to get that connection between your chin and your right armpit. Breathing deeply into the low belly. Finding your breath. A few more breaths here. And then begin to walk your right hand back towards your face. Lift your left arm up. Swim it down. And then you're finding your all fours again. Take a cat and cow to rinse it out for good measure. And then sit back onto your heels. Great. So we're gonna find a wide kneed child's pose. So make your knees as wide as the mat and big toes touch. Find your block and place it on the highest height, somewhat in front of you. You can always move it around if you made it too close or too far or something. So inhale, bring your arms out and then hook your right elbow underneath your left. Grab for your left wrist with your right hand, make a fist with your left. And then what we're gonna do is place this elbow structure gracefully on this block. Cool. So we're coming into a child's pose with our arms like this. Once you're there and you fidgeted your way into an interesting feeling of comfort, you can hook your chin over your left shoulder and take a few swallows. Finding contact between your thyroid and your shoulder, waking it up. One more breath. And then gracefully get out of it. I don't think that was very graceful, but whatever. Then hook your left elbow underneath your right. Grab for your right wrist with your left hand, make a fist with your right hand. Don't know if I said that right. And then bring your left elbow to the block. This time, hook your chin over your right shoulder, keep pressing your hips back. Your eyes can come to a close here. It's another good shoulder opener, kind of like the next variation of that hug that we did in the beginning. Take swallows here again. And then take one more breath. And gracefully on your own time, bring yourself back up. Take the block off to the side and come back into your downward facing dog. Great. From here, inhale forward and back 3 times. So inhale, coming into your upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Really undulating through the spine, going through all parts of the body. And after you've done your third one, you can either hop, jump, step, whatever, to the front of the mat. From here, you'll want to find your 2 blocks again on the highest height, I guess, outside of both feet. And then place your hands on your hips and then stand yourself up tall. Cool. From here, you're gonna keep your hands on your hips and then step your left foot back. So we've been in this position before. It's like our triangle legs, our pyramid legs. And from here, you're just gonna bend your torso over. So the blocks are there, you know they're there, so we can use them shortly, but see how long you can stay here just with the help of your legs holding you up. Your legs can be slightly bent if that gives you the energy that you need to stand. And then place your left hand on the block outside your right foot. So we're coming into a revolved Trikonasana, a revolved triangle pose. And if you can, try to lift up your right arm and look up at your right thumb. If you fall over, bring your right hand back down to your hip and start again, or you could just stay like this, or you can look straight out to the wall. One more breath, find your hips square, engaging through both feet, through both knees, and then exhale, swim it back down. Take a hot second in your pyramid pose, hands on hips, bring yourself up, step your left to meet your right. You guessed it, shake it out, take a roll, whatever you need. And then other side, stepping your right foot back into your pyramid stance. Taking a flat back over your legs. See how you can engage your core to help you stay up longer. Looking down and out in front of you, try not to tuck your chin in towards your chest. And then place your right hand on the block on the left side. From here, same thing, square hips, lift your left arm up if you can and look up at it. Otherwise, look out in front of you or look down. Whatever helps you stay twisted and stable. A few more breaths here, press down through all parts of both feet. Shoulders down away from the ears, shoulders in one line. And then exhale, swim your left arm over. Find your hot second in pyramid pose. Hands on hips, flat back, bring yourself up to stand, shake, rattle, roll, whatever. And then once again, starting with the crown of your head, slight bend in your knees, roll yourself down. Forward fold over your legs. Once you get to the bottom, take a different variation with your hands, whether that's interlaced behind your neck, or you can grab for opposite elbow, whatever feels good. And just breathe. Finding the equal midpoint of your foot where you can stand in the middle, not too far back in your heels or too far forward in your toes. And then exhale, let whatever arm variation you had drop and step yourself back to a downward facing dog. Super. Cool. On your next inhale, bring your body forward and through to a plank pose. And then bend the knees one more time, stick the butt up, downward facing dog. Same thing again, but this time go to your up dog. Inhale forward and through to your up dog. Bend the knees, stick the butt up, downward facing dog. And now take that as a flow. So plank, down dog, up dog, down dog, and see how fast you can go. It's our last bit of effort before we come on our backs. So see if you can go super fast. Use up all of your fire, building the heat that always exists in summer. Take it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And from there, you can place your knees down, sit to one side, and then come to lie on your back, having your blocks and your blanket in arm's reach, depending on what variations you want to take in the next step that we do. So feet are planted down. You can just roll yourself down onto your back. and I lied. There's one more piece of effort. So if you've never done a full wheel before, I'll walk through how to get into it. If you've done full wheel before and you know how to do a full wheel, then go for it. Take 3 breaths. We'll do wheel twice, and then you can come down. But so what we want to do to get into our full wheel, if you want to take full wheel, and if you don't know what full wheel is, you'll see, and then you'll be like, yes, I want to do this, or no, I don't want to do this. And if you don't want to do it, you can just take a restorative back bend with one block or even your blanket underneath your sacrum and just hang out here. Arms can do whatever they want, and this is perfectly fine. If you want to do your full wheel, you're going to bring your feet really close under your knees. So when you lengthen out your arms, you can find your fingers almost touching your heels. If they don't touch, it's totally fine. We just want to use this as a slight measure to measure out the length that our body should be. From there, you're going to take your hands and then flip them so that your fingertips are pointing towards the front of your mat. Elbows are facing up, so they kind of look like this. I think you can see what that is. And then from there, as you inhale, you're going to press yourself up with your hands and your feet, come onto the crown of your head. And then from there, you're going to press yourself up all the way. Full wheel. Once you're here, if you want to be here, you can take your 3 breaths and then come back down, same way you came in, bend into the elbows, crown of the head, knees bent, and then just come back into where we just were. Okay, cool. So second time's the charm. So if you want to try it again, same thing. Hands come up by your ears, elbows facing up towards the sky, hands and fingers pressing down, feet pressing down. Inhale, lift yourself all the way up, and take your 3 breaths. Really pressing down through the fronts of the feet, all parts of the hand, and then bending your elbows in towards your face as you come down. Once you've finished your wheel, don't hug your knees in towards your chest. You'll want to make your feet as wide as the mat or just a little bit wider than your knees, and knock your knees in together to come into constructive rest. This is a really good spine neutralizer. So this is another reason why after we did those back bends on our stomach, we come and just lie on our stomach and shake our hips out from side to side. All of this stuff just neutralizes our spine so we don't hurt it, which is the most important thing, to be safe as we're doing everything. So now, if you were in your restorative back bend, you can slightly lift up your butt and then meet us here in this constructive rest. Everyone take a few breaths here. Noticing the speed of your breath, knowing if you're feeling more energized or if putting in all this effort has tired you out. Just notice how your body feels. Notice if you're sweating. Then bring your feet back underneath your knees. Hug your right knee in towards your chest, interlace your hands behind your right thigh, and then flex your right foot. Imagine you're pressing it up into the ceiling behind you and give it a gentle tug with your hands. And if this feels nice, you can lengthen out your left leg, flexing those toes up. Just keep breathing here, giving yourself a gentle tug, opening up the hamstrings. And then switch it on to the other side. Interlacing your hands, and then point your fingers on top to do the opposite interlacing behind the left thigh, and then lengthen out the right leg if you can, otherwise just keep it bent. Whole time wanting to have knees tracking over toes. Try to have the shoulders away from the ears. Feel free to give yourself a little shoulder roll to have that happen. You want your whole back pressing down onto the ground beneath you. And then let that go. Hug both knees in towards your chest and rock yourself from side to side. Circle your knees around. And we'll take one last, or a few more things. And then you're gonna cross your right knee over your left. So same thing like we were in our down dog with our crossed legs. We're gonna cross our knees again. Then you're gonna grab your right ankle with your left hand, left ankle with your right hand, and then gently tug your knees, your ankles towards your face, but still keep the whole lower back on the ground. So today we did a lot of, I guess, fire burning, I don't know, fire creating movements where we built heat. We used a lot more energy than we did a few weeks ago when we did more winter-like poses, because summer is the season where everyone's going out, everyone wants to be outside, everyone's out doing things. So to embody that season, we had to do a few back bends and other things that encourage our bodies to go out and do things and move into the future and our potential. And even though it is winter, unless anyone here is in the southern hemisphere, it's okay to also embody those summer characteristics in winter. In fact, it's almost necessary because you don't want to get too wintry or too yin. You want to have the balance of the fire and the energy and the yang that comes with summer. Cool. So let your ankles go and then just switch over onto the other side. So this time left knee is on top of right. Grab your left ankle with your right hand, grab your right ankle with your left hand, and then pull your knees in, feet in towards your chest. You can rock yourself from side to side, giving your back a little massage if that feels nice. And now that we've built a lot of heat, we can let the fire and the heat just settle, and then let all of the sensation just carry with us throughout the rest of our day, rest of our weekend. One more cycle of breath here, or a few more. I know we stayed a longer time on the other side. And since the heart is the organ associated with summer, try to use it a little bit more for the rest of your day, putting some love into whatever you're doing. Appreciating your heart and all the stuff it does for pumping energy and blood throughout your body. Let your knees go. Hug your knees in one more time and just take circles with your knees. And then you can come into a last pose of your choosing. You can just come into a normal Shavasana like we started with the blanket underneath your knees. You can end in a restorative back bend with the block underneath your sacrum, or 2 blocks if that's something that you want to do. Or one of my favorites is to interlace my hands behind my shoulder blades and then lie back on that. And that could be your Shavasana for today. I'll show that one more time in case someone wants to do it. So you'll place your arms out, turn them down so your palms are facing the ground, then interlace your hands behind your back, like scooching around like a baby. Place your feet down and then roll yourself back onto your hands. Otherwise, just come into a normal Shavasana. You can even use your blanket just to put on top of you like you're tucking yourself in. Take whatever variation feels good. They'll all have a benefit. And once you've settled in, take any last wiggles or things you need. Try not to have your body touching anything, whether that's a wall or a prop near you. And let everything just relax Let gravity help you melt into the floor. Following your breath with your mind, trying not to let your mind wander, try to stay here in the present moment. But if it wanders, notice where it wanders off to, and then just come back to your breath. Find a few last breaths in the pose you're currently in. If you're in Shavasana, you'll stay there. Otherwise, if you took a restorative back bend or your hands interlaced behind your back, lift your hips up a little bit, just enough to either remove the block or remove your hands. If you have 2 blocks, let your body settle on the last one, and then do the same thing again, lifting your hips up. And from there, once the props are all away, just let everyone come into a Shavasana. Palms facing up, legs just dangling. We'll lie here for about a minute. Try to imagine that you are a popsicle in summer being melted by the sun, allowing your entire body to just spread across your mat like melted ice cream or that melted popsicle. There's no tension. Everything's relaxed. Everything's melted. And enjoy the hopefully soon warm weather and sun shining down on you. Come back to your breath. Begin to take some wiggles and circles with your hands, your feet, your toes, your wrists. Reach your arms up overhead, hook your thumbs, and stretch yourself as you stretch your toes down, stretch your arms up, and then roll yourself over to your right side, coming into a fetal position. And then keeping your eyes closed, press yourself up to come into a comfortable seat. You can either sit cross-legged or in Virasana. Keeping your eyes closed. And then once you're there, find your palms face up on your thighs or on your knees. And find your breath. Roll your shoulders back and down, allowing your chest and your heart to come forward. Take a few more breaths here, inhaling through the nose and big sighs out the mouth. Just letting everything go. Gratitude towards your body, towards yourselves, towards your mind, towards your friends, towards everyone else virtually with us today, for taking the time out of your day to move your bodies. Bring your palms to press at the center of your chest. We'll end practice with a final bow. Namaste.
Yay. Good job, everyone. Is everyone sweating? I'm sweating. I feel like I need to go take a shower now.